Hello guys and welcome back to another video on my channel. Now today's video is all about potential signings I think Luton could make. I have identified a few targets which I think are realistic enough for Luton to go and sign, and today's video is all about talking about those targets and also talk about some players which we've been linked with, and yeah, have a pretty much a transfer video about the possible recruitment Luton can make this season, well this upcoming transfer window. So at this moment in time, as I'm recording this video for you guys, Luton have not made a signing. Nothing to worry about yet. I know at this point last season we did make a couple of signings, but I'm not worried at this moment in time. I feel like Luton have got something in the pipeline, and we definitely will see a couple of players coming through the door very soon. But before I get on with today's video, guys, could we drop a like on the video and drop a comment as well. Comment down below if I've missed out a target which you guys think we should sign, and I probably have done. Yeah, let me know which players you think Luton should go out and sign, which are realistic enough. Drop a like on the video as I already said. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to follow me across all my social media as well. The more engagement on my videos, guys, it gives me more motivation, and the videos do a lot better. My last 5 videos on the channel have done amazing because of you guys supporting me. So if we can keep that up throughout the whole season as you guys do. I don't ever have any breaks off YouTube. I may get a week off, but apart from that, I'm always posting. So if we can keep this up, guys, motivation will always be there from myself. So let's get on with today's video. So the most important position, I've already talked about this in the past. If you haven't already, check out my video where I've actually mentioned about which areas I think Luton need to improve on. If you haven't already, make sure you check it out. I will leave there's like a video link on YouTube where you can just click that and it'll take you to that video if you haven't seen it. But I do mention in that video that the goalkeeper department is the most important position which we need to look at. I've got nothing against Harry Isted, and I know that there's a few people in the comment section that have gone, Lewis, you're a little bit against him. I've got nothing against him at all. I just don't think he's ready for Championship football. You know, he hasn't played in the Football League apart from the odd couple of times with us, and I just don't think we can put 100% trust in him. Is he ready? I'm not the one to judge that. I think it's down to Nathan and the coaching staff. But if he does play, we got an academy goalkeeper as backup. We need someone else. We need someone there. At least someone to compete with Harry and to compete with Shay. We are really weak in that area, and if we get hit hard in injuries, we're going to struggle because we've got an academy as our backup, and I don't think we can rely on that. So the goalkeeper department is something which we need to look at. Now, we have been linked with an actual former Luton Town goalkeeper in Macy. Macy has played under Nathan Jones before. He was on loan from Arsenal a few seasons ago when we were in League 2. He didn't have the best of spells, but he got better week by week. You can tell he was getting better, but then he got recalled, and yeah, we've had a lot of goalkeeper problems that season. I think the goalkeeper department at Luton is an area which I don't think has ever been good since Mark Tyler has left the club. Yes, Sluga's been, you know, he was solid in certain spells, but he did have a poor start. Shay's probably been the most solid goalkeeper since Mark Tyler has actually left the club. So in terms of that area, I do think it's one of the areas which we kind of are weak in terms of recruiting. So hopefully this summer is going to be the summer where, you know, we make a message and, you know, we do get a commanding goalkeeper, because the goalkeeper is your most important position. But as I was saying, Macy, he's currently playing for Hibs in Scotland, and their fans are kind of delighted that he's actually gonna leave the club. We're not the only club after him. There is a few other clubs in Scotland that are after him. We would have to pay a fee for him because he isn't out of contract. I think he's got 1 year left on his deal, so I wouldn't think it'd be a massive fee, but we are after him, and it does worry me a little bit that other fans are delighted to see him go. You know, since obviously he spelled at Luton, he has played a lot more football, a lot more first team football. I think he's been on loan at Plymouth as well, so he has been about and he has been playing football, which is good, you know, because just to build up that experience. It's something which I think Harry Isted needs to do, is build up that experience. So I feel like we would get a better Macy than the one we had in League 2. Well, I hope so we do, because otherwise that'd be quite concerning. But yeah, it's not looking good. But I have full backing on our recruitment team if we do bring him in. Hopefully, you know, if he isn't up to scratch, then we have to improve him. You know, we really do. So, but it's a mix. I'm 50-50 on that, but if we do sign him, I will make a full video on the Macy signing if we do, but apparently that's rumoured to happen this week. The next goalkeeper, which I actually found, who's actually out of contract and could be a realistic signing, is John Roddy. Yes, that's right, John Roddy, the experienced Championship goalkeeper. He's just been released by Wolves from the Premier League. He was pretty much like their backup third choice there. He's won 3 promotions in his career, twice with Norwich and once with Wolves, from the Championship to the Premier League. So he's a very experienced Championship goalkeeper. He's 35 now, so he isn't someone for the long term, but he is definitely someone for the short term who would definitely improve our department, would give Harry Isted, you know, a lot of experience and give him a good advice as well. You know, he's a born winner, but the only problem is that Sunderland are after him. That's the rumours at the moment. Sunderland are looking at him, and he could actually go to Sunderland because he's worked with O'Neill while they both were at Norwich. So that could be the reason why we don't sign John Roddy. But there's no reason why, you know, we can't compete with Sunderland. You know, in terms of wages, I wouldn't think he would be on loads of money, and I think he fits us quite well. I really do. So who knows, he could be one possible target. And the next goalkeeper, which I also found, who is actually out of contract, and I cannot believe it, is Adam Davis. Now, Adam Davis was actually a really good goalkeeper at Barnsley. The saves he made during when Barnsley went up from League One to the Championship at the same time as we did were just incredible. I actually think he got into the team of the season that year as well. And then following that year, Nathan Jones actually signed him while they were at Stoke together. So they had that little relationship there. He didn't really play too much for Stoke. He played around about 20 appearances last season, but I think they didn't really want him at Stoke, and then he went to Sheffield United as like a backup choice for the second half of the season, and hasn't really featured there, but he is out of contract. He has been offered a new deal at Sheffield United, but whether or not he's going to be first choice for next season is a different, it's like pretty much a different story. So he could be a potential goalkeeper which we sign. He's 29 years old. He's got experience in the Championship. Nathan knows him as well. Can play our style of play. Good shot stopper. There's a potential link there which we could bring in. If he wants to play first team football, he would definitely get it with us, and I don't think it's a bad signing. I really don't. I think he has that experience. I think he has the quality as well. So he could be a really good player to bring in to the club. Moving on from a different position, apart from the goalkeeper. So I mentioned 3 goalkeepers there which Luton could potentially sign. The defensive midfield role. We have been linked with a Dortmund player. I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name, but it's Antonios is his first name. Now, this Dortmund player has a value of 1.5 million. Apparently, we are competing with Preston for this player. He's 22 years old. Hasn't played much first team football for the actual Dortmund main team, but he has been playing for their reserves who play in the 3rd division in Germany. So it does seem like it's a lot of money for someone who isn't as good as you would think. He's 22, so there's potential there to be improved. I can't judge him too much. I've not seen him play, but there's been links. We're competing with Preston. 1.5 million euros is probably around about 1.2 in UK money. So it wouldn't break our transfer record, I don't think, but it would be close to doing it. So it is a lot of money. I'm actually expecting Luton to break our transfer records soon. Although our transfer model has been working quite well, I do expect us to break our transfer record, because the fact that we haven't, and we've been in the Championship for 3 years now, is quite surprising. So I am expecting it extremely, well, basically really soon, really. But yeah, we've got this Dortmund lad, 22 years old. Who knows what could come from him, but I can't comment too much because I have not seen him play. The next player which I found, who's also out of contract and was actually Cardiff City's one of their best players last season. Now, I know Cardiff didn't have the best of seasons, so it probably stands out that this lad, you know, the fact that he is out of contract and we could potentially sign him is a good thing. He had a good year, and that's Joe Rawls. He's a Welsh international. Cardiff want to keep him. They have offered him a new deal. He's 28 years old. He can play as a centre mid. He can also play as a defensive midfielder as well. He's got 6 assists. He's got 1 goal. He's a great passer on the ball, a good tackler. I think that's an area which Luton need to recruit in. We really do. So I think that would be a really good signing. Nothing really puts me off in signing him, and if we was to do that, I think it'd be a cracking deal. Taking another team's best player, it's always a good thing. So if we could bring him in, that would be fantastic. Now moving on to a different position, we're going to look at the strikers. Now I couldn't find, basically all these players which I've mentioned so far, apart from the Dortmund lad and Matt Macy, have been free signings. There's not many decent free signings out there. You know, I probably haven't done more research. I've only looked at British players. I haven't looked at anything else outside Britain. And it's really hard to find certain players that are out of contract, because clubs don't let their good players go out of contract. It's very rare. And if you do, you pick up some good gems. So you are expecting to actually pay for some players, which I will talk about at the end of the video. Some players which I do think could be realistic enough for us to go and buy. But as I was saying, Callum, Hendy, Stryker. Now, probably never heard of him before. He played for St Johnstone in the Scottish Prem. He went out on loan in the first half of the season, but then in the second half of the season got recalled back. Now, St Johnstone was trying to stay up from the Prem last year. They managed to do that, and he got offered a new deal. However, there's a lot of clubs after him, especially in League One. Rumours that Burton, Fleetwood, Sheffield Wednesday are looking at him. He's 24 years old. He turns 25 this year. In the second half of the season, he scored 9 goals. So there's a potential good player in there. We need a striker who's from, I say, roughly the same age as Elijah, but also under the age of 30, because we have Hilton and Jerome, who are the 30+ players. So looking at a player which could have a sell-on value and also a player which we can improve on, it's something which I think we will identify. 9 goals in the second half of the season isn't too bad. Yeah, it's Scottish football, and yeah, I haven't seen him play, but I've seen certain goals he's scored. I think he got their goal of the season at St Johnstone as well. So, he's a potential target which Luton can get, but whether or not he's championship ready is up to the coaches, unfortunately. So those are the players which I found on a free transfer. There's probably other players and I've just overlooked them, but these were the ones that stood out to me. Not the best ideal, I understand that, but I wanted to avoid looking at players that we could bring in on loan, because we don't really sign loan players. Now, I know we're looking at Callum Wright from Leicester City. That could potentially happen, but that's a loan signing, so I didn't really want to talk about these loan deals. But yeah, I could find loads, but I wanted to try and make this as realistic as possible, and it's really hard. I have to admit, looking at and trying to do research, finding out if players are out of contract or not, it is difficult. But I have found some players that are still under contract at their current clubs, but had really good seasons last year, but play for clubs that probably we could snap off. And what I mean by that is, pay a fee, but not pay over the odds for these players. Now, Michael Cooper, he's a Plymouth Argyle goalkeeper, kept 18 clean sheets last year, 22 years old. Now, Plymouth didn't obviously go up last year, so the possible move of playing first team football in the Championship and being potential #1 could sway Cooper to come to us. 18 clean sheets in League One, that's some doing. Had a great year, and he was one of Plymouth's best players. You're probably looking at least $500,000 for him, let alone. But I think that's a price which we can pay for someone like him. Another player which I found is a player called Colby Bishop. Now, he has been linked with a few Championship clubs over the last 12 months. He's a striker, plays for Accrington Stanley. Now, don't just, dismiss Accrington because it's Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley have got a few good players which I do think we should look at and try and bring to the club. We got Clark from Accrington. We've actually got a few former Accrington players in the club ourselves. But Clark, a great player for us. He's vital. We got him on a free from Accrington. So don't dismiss Accrington Stanley. There's players there who work hard. The way Accrington recruit as well, the coaching there, they improve players, and we have a good relationship with Accrington as well. So that could be a potential signing Luton look at. Colby Bishop, 25 years old, so he's at a really good age now to take that next step up. He got 12 goals last year in League One and 4 assists. Considering Accrington, you know, they're not, you know, they finished mid-table. To be even mid-table with Accrington, with the finances they've got, you know, it's some doing. So 12 goals for Accrington is probably not a bad thing. 16 goal contributions throughout the season. You're probably looking at, yeah, definitely a good fee for him, but I wouldn't say it's an unrealistic one. And another player from Accrington which I've also found is Sykes. Now, he plays centre-half for Accrington. He's had a lot of links, and yeah, 23 years old, 7 goal contributions as a centre-back, so 4 goals and 3 assists. He's had a lot of links to Championship clubs, a good, you know, command in centre-half. If we are going to look at a centre-back, he could potentially be one to, you know, bring in to the club. So, those are the players that I found. There's probably loads more, but I don't want to talk for an hour to you guys because that would just be boring. But those are a few players that I've identified which I don't think are unrealistic for Luton. I do think they are realistic. I think we could pay the price for all those players that I've mentioned. But yeah, those are the players that I found. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I know it's a long one, guys. Drop a like on the video if you did. As I mentioned already, comment below players which you think we should go and look at. I may have missed out. Let me know down in the comment section of the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.